So don't be like Jordan. If you get frustrated, call a friend or watch one of our videos. Welcome to the Gotta Know Joe Hobby Shop. Have you ever heard of us? Had a customer come in the other day, and yesterday as a matter of fact, and he's like, man, why don't you make videos about how to fix foam planes? And I was like, well, because everybody knows how to fix foam planes, or so I thought. And I guess I take for granted that, you know, since I've been doing this a minute, that everybody kind of just, you know, has some of the tricks and stuff that I've picked up over the years. And so here we are. We're going to make some videos on how to make some simple repairs on some of these foam turds. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to go over the foam planes and hinges. Put this up here. A lot of these planes will come from the factory, and they expect the foam to be the hinge, and it's effective for a little bit, but if that'll focus in there, if you can see, this one here started to deteriorate, and this is normally what happens on these things. You'll have a thin layer of foam, and that thin layer of foam in there acts as your hinge. Well, the first thing that I do on these, unless you just want to, unless you just like wrecking foam planes, we like to fix these one way or another.
Tool up, honey bunny.
You need to reinforce it. So hinges, there's a couple of different kinds. I've got a couple here, if I can get the camera to focus. This is a pin hinge, and it gets its name because it has a pin in it that you can actually, you're supposed to be able to remove, you know, if you want to take the control surface on and off. And I've always found it pain in the tail to be able to get that thing in and out. This is another style of pin hinge that you'll maybe black backing. There you go. Let's see. That's another style of. Maybe I can manually focus here. And man, that black is just showing all the dust from that little hammer job you did on your GB. There we go. Okay, so this is half of one of the pin hinges, and it meets up. It's actually the same piece flipped over, and they pop together, and you put a pin through there. And this is another kind of pin hinge that you'll run into. Of course, this is a half of one. These here or just molded hinges, I guess you would call them, and it's got a thin part in the middle, and you glue these in here, and they're okay. But these two over time will start to deteriorate because all it is cheap plastic, and it's just thinned in the center. So probably some of the most common hinges for the foamy is the CA hinge. And the CA hinge is I don't know, kind of like a Mylar, I would guess, plastic, and then it grows hairs on both sides. And these hairs are there for a reason. These hairs are actually wicks, like wick on a candle. When you install this into the control surface, you put the glue in the center, and the glue wicks out to the edge, so all of it will be covered, but we'll go over that here in a few minutes. This is also another kind of hinge that we have. This particular one, I believe, is what they use for flaps, and this thing here will hook to the flap, and it actually has the control horn built onto it. But this is more in line of what they call a Robart hinge. And I guess they get that name because Robart's the manufacturer. I think there's another name for them too, but I don't know exactly what it is you call them. Maybe a super hinge point. I don't know what they call these things. We make up names for things that makes us feel good. Let's see here. So this is the Robart hinge. This is primarily going to be used on larger planes. They do make micros like this here, but I found that the amount of surface area that you have to glue to it never really worked well for me. If you do find yourself using these Robart hinges, I'm going to see if I can find the tool real quick, which I probably won't be able to now that I'm needing it. Yeah, here we go. So if you ever see one of these floating around in a box, it's a little tool. It does have Robart stamped on the inside of it here. And what these do, these have little dies that fit in here for you to drill through. They come in different sizes depending on the size of the hinge. This will go over. Well, I'm going to do it on the front of the wing, but this squeezes down like this here so you can get a center, a perfectly centered hole, and when you run your drill through there, it operates as a drill guide. And when you buy a big package of these, one of these will come with it, and it'll have the proper insert. Okay. Let's see. One more tool here. This is for cutting hinges with a tool. Didn't know there was so much damn stuff to know about hinges, did you? So they have these things here. These are called hinge tools. And I think the last time I used one of these was to get a splinter out of my arm. To be honest with you, I just never use these things. They work. But you can get one of these things here. This comes with the hinge saw, I think is what they call that thing, but it works well with the manual tool. And just like the other one, it will sit down on the top of your wing, and then you can go right through here and it guides it to keep it level. And now, if you drive Ferraris, let's see. If you're a player and you got all kinds of bank, like we do here at Gotta Know Joe, right? You get one of these. This is called the slot machine. Well, that's a brand new one. I don't want to crack that one open. Then somebody won't get a new tool. Let's see here. This is mine. I'm not even sure if you can buy these things anymore. But this is one of the coolest things since sliced bread. So this thing here, it's got two blades and they scissor back and forth. And you can use this little tool here. And as that's on the control surface, this tool goes inside that slot and you pull the trigger and it makes a perfect slot every time. Wow, that's a lot of information about one little bitty subject. And we haven't even got to the part of actually fixing anything. So let me get all this stuff here out of the way. And Jordan, if you don't mind, stick these back over on the shelf that they want to come from. And I'm going to get rid of all this stuff here. Everything except for the CA hinge. As a tidy shop, must be somebody else's. That gum sure isn't this one. Let's see here. I thought you'd like this. You know what that's called?
What is it?
Run that up your arm. That is a woodpecker. Jordan's got a woodpecker. That's kind of a cool little tool, and that's used to poke holes in balsa and also in monocoat when you want to cover over the top of it. And you can actually take these little discs out.
Yeah,
so,
I was looking at that.
Yeah. So if you want to put like a pinstripe down the side of your plane, you can only run one or two of them, and you're just bushing it up. It's kind of a little cool tool, but it can be dangerous storing the thing because if you're reaching a toolbox the wrong way, you'll come out with a bunch of holes in your hand. All right, so let's get back to this little foam P-51, the Gunfighter. It's a popular little plane. Park Zone made one. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fabulous?
Mm-hmm.
So this is something else. When you put these things together, they say, well, man, just put you this little piece of tape on there, and I guess that's okay if you plan on taking it apart and selling it and putting it back in the box and wanting to ship it later on. But that's exactly what's going to happen. This tape is going to fail, especially if you live in a humid area like we do, or if you get caught in the rain. We fly in the rain every once in a while because it's just kind of fun. But let's see. So on this particular guy here, I'm going to bust this thing off. Let's see. I don't know. Am I focused there or not? I don't think so. There we go. Okay. I slid that the wrong way. Okay, so now I've got that thing disconnected. Now I want you to take a look at, if I get out of focus there or out of frame, be sure and let me know, Jordan, because it's hard for me to watch both.
Gotcha.
But see, I can do this a few times, and every time I do this, it gets weaker and weaker. And what you'll find is it just starts to break apart, and as soon as you get pressure on that in the wind, it's a very good chance it's going to come off. So instead of it coming off in the wind, let's just have it come off right here on the table where it's nice and safe. I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to cut down through that. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this razor blade and I'm going to try to cut any of this extra off. Be careful because your blade will take off and go right down in the center. Sometimes if you'll follow that angle, it's a little bit safer. Looks like somebody's already been doctoring on this one here a time or two. And the same thing holds true for this here. You see all this foam that's left over? We want to get rid of all of that stuff. And see, somebody's been pouring CA glue and all kinds of goodies up here. So it doesn't want to cut. If it doesn't have glue on it, this would have been done a long time ago. You can almost just pinch the stuff off of there. There we go. Now, also we've got this here going on, right? Wiggly bits. So I'm going to show you a real quick and easy fast trick to do this. Grab the glue gun. We like glue guns here. Glue is your friend. Let me tell you something about glue, the hot glue anyway. If you use hot glue, where's my bottle at? I don't see it. If you use hot glue, you got to have a bottle of this stuff here. And when you're not drinking it, if you got any left over, you want to use this to as a release agent for hot glue. If you'll take a Q-tip, which I normally have floating around here, or a little brush, and I say that because I don't see the Q-tips. Anywhere that you have hot glue, you'll get this wet, and then just rub it right where that hot glue is, right around the edges. And you do that about 3 or 4 times over the course of 3 or 4 minutes, it will fall off. Hot glue and alcohol do not mix. So, Q-tips. That was quick.
Oh, they were right in front of you the whole time.
Were they really?
They're right there.
Right there on the table. Yeah. Okay, so got that. Now, so I don't know which way to go about this. I guess we could do it kind of both ways. However, CA hinges, when you buy those CA hinges, what you're going to get is a box or a little bag with about 10 or 15 of these things in it. And for a plane this size, this hinge is way, way too big. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to burn your servo. You're going to burn your servos out if the servo will even turn the dadgum thing, depending on how many you put in there. So what I want you to do is I want you to take this right here. Will make 4 hinges. You'll take this thing here and cut right there, And right there. And then right there, this is all you need for this little guy. I keep walking in and out of focus. About that size right there, okay? And a good thing to do when you do this is get you a pen, which I happen to have one right here, and draw a line, find the center of it, and draw you a line right in the middle. Move this down here just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now I've got a blue line drawn right in the middle, and that's just for a reference, okay, when we go to put this thing in. So the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you know where you're going to put the hinges and where you're going to put them on the plane, so that same pin, or even better yet, if you have a marker will probably show up just a little bit better, a little easier for you to see. I'm gonna get this guy down here, and then I want to just, on the plane, I'm going to pick 4 spots, okay, and I'm going to do one not all the way to the top, but you know, maybe about a ½ inch from the top. I'm going to put a little mark there. Remember that thing's only 1/4 inch wide, so you don't have to make a very big mark. And then I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to come up about a ½ inch. And I'm going to make a mark. And then I'm going to do the same thing about right here. I'm just going to split the difference is all I'm doing. Okay. Now, get your, get the control surface you want to add. And here I am back down again. Maybe you need to get over here and run this damn camera, and I won't have to do that back and forth. Yeah. Let's see here. So, and then I want to put this up here and match the top with the top, bottom with the bottom. And then I'm going to make a mark here as well. There's one there. There's one there. And then there's one there. Okay. So now we're all marked up. Then, at that point, take your razor blade and poke it right there in the center. And these dadgum razors will slide off the center real easy. Okay, and then you always want to go in much deeper than you've got hinge. Trust me, the extra room will come in very handy later. Okay. Kind of wiggle it around a little bit, give yourself a little bit of room. You don't want the hole too big. And then we're going to do the same thing up here on the plane. Another thing I want you to look at here too, look at how weak this is. Okay, so everything on these foam planes, the engineering is all about everything being complete. If you lose this, all of a sudden, this fuselage is real weak. With this all put together, this is all one piece, it won't break as easy. If this thing comes out in flight, when it hits the ground, it's probably going to break. When you've got a part that flies off like this, yeah, you can fly without a rudder. But the problem is this thing here is real weak. So it hits the ground, you know, it's a bigger chance that it's going to break. Okay, so let's see. I didn't mark the center of my other ones, so let me do that real quick, just so I've got reference points. And you know, you don't have to do this after you've been doing this a minute. You start learning about how things are going to look, but I still put the reference points on there. So now I'm going to start stabbing in my hinges. Go back and you find that little slot, and they should go in there real simple, real easy like this. Yeah.
And we should put the camera over here, this side.
Well, can't now because we done started on this way. Then it'll look weird.
All right.
Yeah, but everything it needs to be hooked here too. So that's kind of the other deal, right?
Yeah.
So now, where I used to make my mistakes a long time ago is this is when I try to glue them. And for a CA hinge, that is the worst thing you can do because what happens is not only does it wick this way, but it also wicks the other way. And once you get CA in here, they're shot. You got to take them out and throw them away. Now, here's the other little bit of an issue. When you go to start stabbing these things in here, these things are going to want to push in, and they're going to, so there's just a whole lot of little issues that you got to deal with. Now, what you can do is you can take a pin and lift the camera up. Yeah, you can take a pin and you can stick a pin inside here to kind of hold that. But the problem is trying to get that pin to stab through that mylar or whatever that material is because it's tough stuff. Okay, and now we've got this here mocked up all the way. All of them are stabbed in. Now we're going to push on this and kind of just wiggle up and down, wiggle, 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 and watch those black lines. Make sure that you've got the center of your make sure that it's not pushing up in there and you've only got a little bit on this side and it's real deep in here. That's why we leave those marks in there. Okay, and then you want to match the top, match the bottom. Alrighty, and then you want to go and get your, I don't have any right now, so we're going to fake it until we make it. Okay. Then you want to get your CA, which this is not. This is just a prop. And you want to roll the control surface all the way over to one side. And it's even best if you can get your airplane down like this here. Move that control surface all the way over to one side. And then put you a spot of glue on each hinge. And then just kind of wait. Hold it in, make sure everything's square, and then just wait. And you want to wait for that CA, even though super glue is supposed to be instant, it is not always. And wait until that has started to hold. And then you want to flip it over, and you want to do the exact same thing. Okay, and when you glue this side, then you'll have a good amount of glue in the front and the rear, the whole nine. It'll be a done deal. And trust me, it will not come loose. But let's say you don't have any CA hinges and you're at the field, or you just don't want to use CA hinges. Where is the, okay, here we go, electric flyer. We've got this stuff here, which cost about $5 a roll. And this is, it's that outer ring right here, buddy. Right there, okay. So this is electric hinge tape. And this stuff cost about $5 a roll. And it is I think it's a lot of damn money that's spent, not needed, because you probably got one of these rolling around here, and this is really all you need. I built more planes with clear packing tape than I care to mention right now. So you can also use this right here to fix your hinges. Let me show you. Sometimes you might need a buddy to help you out. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to get kind of a length of it there. And grab those scissors if you don't mind. And right at the bottom of my thumb, about right there, just cut straight across right there. Okay, that's a done deal. All right, hold on, I'm going to need you some more. Okay, and now what we're going to do is I want you to hit it about right there. Cut. All right. Can you pull that off my hand? That's why you got to have kind of multi-hand here. Let me see if I can get this. It's starting to rip. Yeah, try to cut it through if you can. You can do this with a razor blade too. Butamus. All right, let's do that again.
You need a strip?
Yeah, stick it on my hand. It'll be fine.
Nice.
Right there's fine. All right. Well, that's okay, because it didn't cost $5. Of course, now that I've said that, what'd I do with the dead gum? There it is. Tell you what, let's try, cut that with the scissors. Let's try this one here with the razor blade. So I'll lay this down, hold that in there. All right, now I can take the razor blade and we'll just walk down. And that's the problem with using a old razor blade. Lift your hand up. There we go. Okay. I don't know how we did, but we got 2 successful pieces of tape out of there. So this is pretty simple. I'm going to hold this over and take one of those and put it right here in the crease and just push it down flat. Make sure that you get it, get it to adhere well.
Don't put both of them together?
Huh?
Just one, or?
Yeah, just one,
Okay.
right there in the center. Back out of the way so they can see there on the camera there. All right, and just push it down. I can't see what's going on there, but let me see. Okay, yeah, but we want to get it on both surfaces.
That's what I asked.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other piece of tape. Okay. No, you want to get that centered right there so it's touching on both sides.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Right. Pull tight. Make sure that the control surface is extended all the way to that one way. Okay. Make sure that you push this down and really work with the pressure on this, because pressure is the key. And then we're going to turn this thing around. Now we're going to fold it back over the other way. All right, make sure it's pushed all the way into the plane. Get it centered. Who said this was a solo hobby? By the way, we've been tested for COVID. That's the reason we're so close. Disclaimer. Okay. And there you go. And to be honest with you, that's how we have done all of our combat wings and everything forever. If you want to spend the $5, this tape is better quality, and it will probably last a little bit longer, but my planes don't last that long. I fly the hell out of them. Okay, so that ought to pretty much cover that little fix and repair there. I really think the C8 hinge is the best way to go, and that'll give you a super long time of enjoyment with no problem. So one other deal we'll cross over here real quick while we're doing this in this area. This is a servo arm. So I don't know how many times you've been in a situation where you needed a control horn, but you didn't have any. If you'll take and clip off 2 sides so you end up with this right here. Take your pliers and clip this last one off and clean it up as much as you can. Okay. And now, man, I wish I had I don't have a damn piece of foam sitting around here that I can do this with. No, we'll just show it on this one. Okay, it doesn't matter. So if you need a control horn on this, what you can do is you can take a razor blade. So you just take and you cut straight through like this here. And then you take your servo horn and push it through that slot. And then you're gonna have this hunk of stuff up here, right? So what you wanna do is you wanna push it down and make an indentation. And then come back with your knife and just cut this out a little bit. Okay. so you can get that thing to embed down in the foam as deep as you possibly can, leaving as much as you possibly can. Okay, and now we've got a control horn sticking out through there. Now at that point I'm looking and seeing how much I can't stick through the wing. So I come back with my pliers. Clean that up. Right back down through the wing where it goes. Put a little hot glue over the top of it. And then you got you a control horn that you didn't have before. And you didn't have to go to the store to do that. And they work great.
Being a superhero is bad for your health.